All right, everybody, welcome to Large Group PE by Design. My name is Dave Carney, and I'm glad you are here. Thank you so much. So this webinar is for physical educators who teach large groups, and that's a relative term. If you teach 40, that's still large. It could be, right? If you teach 30, that could be a large group, okay? I teach over 100, that's a large group. You want to learn new ideas, you want to grow your PE program, or of course you want to keep growing as an educator. I'm hoping if you're here and you're listening, that is you. If not, I don't want to waste your time. I think that is you. I'm pretty sure that's you. If you're even listening to this, you obviously want to get more information, you want to learn, you want to get better. So I had this Jerry Maguire moment, I'm not going to lie. I had this epiphany a couple days ago where I just was like, well, you know what, I want to teach strategies and tactics, but I want to teach more than that. I want to teach the things I've learned in my getting close to 20 years of teaching, and so we'll definitely get into that. So I switched up my presentation a little bit, but I think you'll understand what I mean when I'm done with this. So here's my two kids and my wife and I. That is one of my favorite pictures of them. It was kind of recent. So I taught 10 years in the classroom, mostly 4th and 5th grade. I taught 1 year of 2nd grade, and then I started teaching PE. And this is my 9th year, going to my 9th year of PE, kindergarten through 5th grade. I do love it. It's my favorite job I've ever had. Hopefully you love it as well. And my goal is to keep improving, innovating, and learning all the time. Here are some of the things I've been featured on or I've been a part of. So the Supersized Phys Ed podcast. Hopefully you listen to this and you are one of the people who listen to my podcast. And if not, please listen. It's my favorite thing I do is my podcast. So love to have you aboard too. If you want to be a guest, let me know. I've been on the rest of these as well. PE Umbrella, PE Geek podcast. I presented at Shape, Florida. I'm going to present 2 sessions this coming November in Shape, Florida. Presented about 3 times on Connected PE. I was like not a co-host, but kind of one of the panelists on the Phys Ed Voxcast for a while when Jorge had just a bunch of people on there. And I presented on SP Chat last year. So presented a bunch and I enjoy it. However, when I was, this is tough. My first year of teaching PE, this is not the picture of my first year, but I got lucky. I got lucky because I was scheduled to teach 3rd grade at the school I'm at now, and the PE teacher quit, and the principal asked me, with like only a few weeks before school started, if I want to teach PE, and I jumped to the chance. I said yes, but I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. So it's myself and 3 paras. There's a lot of turnover every year. Pretty much I get a new para or 2. This year's no exception. I'll have a new para. Although she's been working in the school. She's never worked at PE, so it'll be different. 100 to 135 students per class, which is when I first walked in, I was blown away. 40-minute classes 3 to 4 times a week, which is great. It's actually going to be 45 this year, so it's even better for the kids, but it's a lot. And we're outside in the heat and rain of Florida, so I'm not sure who the genius was that decided not to build inside gymnasiums in Florida, but that's what I have to deal with, and that's what I've been dealing with for almost 9 years. And my first year teaching, I was pulling my hair out. This is me, not really, but it looks like me. Looks like the way I was, just frazzled, didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't on any really social media. I was just, I was arguing with my paras. They didn't really kind of buy into what I wanted to do out there. It just didn't go well. And then that was my first year. My second year, we had a lot of fun. It was me and 3 guys, paras. It was just, we barbecued on Fridays. As long as my principal got a hot dog, he was happy. Until we started setting off the smoke alarms. That wasn't a good thing. Played a lot of pickleball, which is great, but I wasn't like, so I had a lot of fun, played pickleball. I'm just saying the coaches after school, but I didn't like engage myself in learning and growing. We played a lot of dodgeball, throwing them at the kids. So I didn't know any better. That's what I did. And, not the greatest thing, let's just say. So after I got connected with Jared at the PE Geek, got learning how to use Twitter, got on Voxer, I started learning these things. I started learning secrets. What I came up with are my 5 big secrets of things I've learned over the past 6+ years since I got connected. Here's the things I want to teach today. This was my Jerry Maguire moment. I want to teach you the shortcuts, along with the tactics. Number 1 is be your authentic self. 2, fight for your right to PE. 3 is innovate. 4 is see your work as art. And 5 is be a troublemaker. Take chances. We'll go into all those during this recording. So number 1, the first secret is be your authentic self. This picture is not me, hopefully. I'm not some crazy maniac. But when I first started teaching, even just in the classroom out of college, I taught just teaching 5th grade. I read a lot of books on coaching, like Bobby Knight, Pat Riley, some other coaches. I can't remember who else, but there was a lot of coaching, and it was all like, be this commander, be this general, don't smile until Christmas. That was just other teacher stuff, but that's not me. So be who you are. It doesn't mean be a pushover. It doesn't mean, just be this friend and not a teacher. It doesn't mean any of that. Just be who you are. This is not me. Not at all. This is me. This is actually me with my daughter's next to me, and we kind of match. Yes, it's raining tacos. That is me. Be your authentic self. So now for the basics. Here are the basics. What I see as the basics. Well, first of all, your organization. This is my PE space. Some of it. This is our track and bus ramp. I do have a pavilion, 2 basketball courts, and this field to the left, which is actually a big field. Just things to think about. Make it your own. Figure out what is going on in what space. What are you doing in each of these spaces? What games fit there? What do you want your office and storage area to look like? Or maybe you just have a little tiny office or a little tiny storage area, but make it your own. Make sure it's your space, and you have time to think, time to plan. In your storage area, you have room to move around. It's organized. Okay, your equipment, take inventory every year, see what your needs are and your wants, but definitely take care of your needs first. And, make sure you get things with the help the most for your whole units, your whole program, not just like one little piece of your year, or if it just works with a few kids at a time. If you have large groups, you got to make that money. You got to stretch that money. You got to make it work for everybody or most classes. And think about your other PE areas. If you have them, on rainy days, we lose our space. We go into the music room or the media center. We might even go to the classroom sometimes. When there's testing going on, we have to be completely in the field and away from the pavilion because there's classes right there. So think about all these things. And as the BC Boys say, fight for your right to PE or party. But I like to say fight for your right to PE. It is your space. It is your program. Don't let the paras tell you what to do. Listen to them, but don't let them boss you around. Don't let the kids tell you what to do. I've seen online. I see people on Facebook pages saying, my kids want to play gaga ball, so how do I make this happen? Well, if it fits your program, fine. If it doesn't, they don't have to play. I had 2 coaches come in to see me to see what my program looks like, and they're like, all my kids want to do is play soccer. Well, it's your program. Take control of it. And not only that, fight for your space. I love the fact that my kids have recess. My students, all students have recess. I love it. The problem is it infringes with my space. So I've had to fight for that before and say, I'll give you the playground, but you can't go on my field, because they were tearing up my field. Between PE and recess, the field was getting demolished. It turned into a sand pit before Christmas. And so I had to fight for that. There's teachers that show up early or show up late. I'm not saying be rude or be mean, but, fight for that time. It's your time. It's your space. It's your program. Fight for it. Okay, here's some rules and procedures that I want you to think about, things to ponder. How do the kids come in? How do they line up? The biggest challenge I have every year, but especially this year, is how are they going to leave? How are they going to line up to leave? Because I have 100 plus kids coming in and I have 100 plus kids going out, and there's no time in between this year. We used to have 5 minutes, then we had 3 minutes, now we have no minutes in between. So these are all things to think about. How do they, or when do they go to the bathroom and get drinks? We usually do drinks at the end of class. If the music's on, they can use the bathroom and get drinks during games, during stations. But they know this. It's something that has to be learned. They can't just get up whenever they feel like it when I'm talking. And by the way, I also make sure that recess doesn't come in during PE and get drinks and go to the bathroom. If I'm teaching, I tell them no, because I don't go into their class when they're teaching math and go to the bathroom or get drinks. So, fight for that time, fight for that space, fight for your program, and think about these things. What does a typical class, a week, or unit look like? Again, we do, most weeks look about the same. We do some kind of fitness or move it Monday, sometimes laps, sometimes other things, or mixed up Monday, we'll do just some random stuff. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are the main core lessons, and then Friday is Fun Friday if they've earned it. So that's what a typical week looks like. A typical class looks, they know how they come in. They know the first 5 to 10 minutes, we do a song or a dance and questioning. Then they go off into their groups. Then at the end, we do a cool down and get drinks. So it's we know this. They know this every day. This is how it's going to look. This is what's going to be like. And there's no big surprises. Think about your substitute plans, or if you have rainy days, if you're outside, what happens? What do you do? What do you do when you lose your classroom? And how will discipline be handled? So this might be a school-wide thing. We use the conflict corner. We use a reflection corner where the older kids will write out what happened and why and what they could do differently. And they could think about that. And that's their ticket back into the games. So we do all these things, but it's your program. Okay, here's some of the signals we use now. The school-wide signal we have is freeze, please. So it's that's a Kagan thing. If you're a Kagan school, put your hand in the air, say freeze, please, and within 3 seconds, eyes on the speaker, mouths closed, and ready to go. I use my whistle. Sometimes I use my whistle in a pattern. They clap along, or just clap. You clap in a pattern. And definitely use music. We use music a lot for transitions. I didn't use it my first 2 years, not music even half as much. I definitely use music a lot now, not only for warm-ups, but for theme music if we're playing a certain game, or just in general, music. And then when it stops, they know to freeze and to sit on the dot or whatever they need to be doing that time. Okay, implementing music. I say pick a platform, Spotify, Apple. I use Apple, or whatever other ones you want to use. It's fine. Pick a platform and go with it. I use Fit Radio as well, especially for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The mixes are really good if you find the clean ones like DJ Flash. Tempo Magic Pro is awesome. You could speed up or slow down songs, but it doesn't sound like chipmunk music. It's just fast and slow, and especially the younger kids just love it. And I make my own GarageBand montages. So in GarageBand, you can make your own little mixes. And here's a picture of Tempo Magic Pro. This is what it looks like on your screen. It's a sliding kind of scale, or on your iPad. You slide up and down, whether it goes faster and slower. It's awesome. Okay, secret number 3, innovate. Don't teach the same lessons for 20 years and call it a career. That's loosely based on Robin Sharma, one of my favorite authors. Just don't keep teaching the same thing. Things are different now. They don't look the same as they did 20 years ago, and they're not going to look the same in 20 more years. So here's some things to think about. Dodgeball. Now, if you're going to play dodgeball, you need to be able to justify it to probably the administration, definitely to your state organization if something happens. Okay, this is not a dodgeball debate, but it's something to definitely think about. And if you're going to play it, why? Relay races. The most I put on a team for relay races, if they're if they're dribbling a ball, or they're dribbling soccer or basketball, or stick handling, hockey, and going to get a treasure or something like that, bring it back. I'll have 2 or 3 at the most on a team. This 10 on 10 relay races with these, it's just too much. It's too many kids standing around doing nothing. How do we pick teams? Letting them pick teams is not the best way. Okay, either using an app like TeamShake, or just you pick the teams, and that's the way to go. Don't let them pick the teams, because they stack them all the time. Fitness testing. Think about that. If you don't have to do fitness testing, why are you doing it? Now, if you do have to do it, make sure it's relevant and it's done in a proper way that can give feedback to the kids in a positive way. And my biggest pet peeve is any game you pick up on the internet the night before. My biggest 2 were the rock, paper, scissors hoop game that everybody and their brother tagged me on, including my principal and other parents. And why don't we play that? I'm like, no, it's my program. And no, there's too many kids standing around doing nothing. That's when I first saw that video. That's all I saw was I see 2 kids doing rock, paper, scissors and 20 kids standing around doing nothing. Now I modified that, and I've seen other people modify it with different. The only time I did it was on field day. I modified it with a few different entryways, so there's more people moving at a time. And the relay race thing with beanbags, that's another thing. I see a bunch of kids standing around. Think about that. If you're going to play these games, make sure you think of the big picture, not just, oh, it's cool, it's on the internet, let's do it. Because the one thing YouTube doesn't have is a filter, or it's not vetted. It's just people putting up stuff. And if it goes viral, cool, but make sure it's something that fits your program and something appropriate. Okay, planning. There's Shape America. So it depends on your state and your district. Do you follow the state? Do you follow the shape? Follow something though, because following the standards, obviously you have grade level outcomes. You have things. You have like a measuring stick for your students. You know where you're going if you have standards, and not just like throwing random stuff out there. I mean, if not, we're just playing glorified recess. If not, how can you structure your lessons around them? So when you think about the standards, don't just think about, hey, I want to play this game. Think about the standards first, and then think of the game that goes with it. Most people do the exact opposite. And how can you utilize your paras to teach the lessons? I call it my zone defense. So this year, I'm only going to 5 classes at a time. Last year it was 6, but the class sizes are bigger, so it's really kind of about the same. What I did in the past was like my 3-2-1 defense. Maybe I'll do a 2-2-1 this time, or a 3-1-1. So I'll pick a game that'll fit 2 to 3 classes, and I'll put 2 coaches out there, because I have 4 total coaches and 5 or 6 classes. So, it's not 1-to-1 exactly. So you want to make sure, especially the paras with the least amount of experience, like I'm going to have one this year, stays with a more experienced para for the first few weeks until she or he, in this case she, gets comfortable teaching by themselves. But utilize your paras to help and get them involved, get them to buy into your program. Okay, technology. Now, why do we use technology? I want you to think about that. Why? Don't just use technology because it's cool. Why do you use it? How do you use it? You can project. Now, that's one of the main things I do is use my projector. You can project apps and GIFs and different dances and different websites and different videos to start a unit. You can make portfolios, which if you have a lot of technology, you can definitely do this. If you don't have much, it's hard because I tried, but it's a great way to showcase students what they're learning by video and by also typing. Okay, your iPad. I have one iPad. If you have a bunch, that's awesome. If you have one, that's great for if you want to assess. If you want to use the program numbers, or you want to use a different program to assess what the kids are learning, and just little check boxes or something like that, that's awesome. Always keep looking for new stuff, new cutting edge technology. Don't be a shiny object syndrome person though that just grabs everything. Try it out, see if it works for your program. Not everything works for large groups. Not everything works in my pavilion, because the The Wi-Fi is very spotty. So look for things that work for you. Secret number 4, be a troublemaker or take chances. So here's, I'm standing with a tree. This tree, by the way, was riding a bike in our PE program, the bike trailer. The tree was dancing with us. Its name's Sway, and it's the Fort Myers Miracle mascot. So we have people come out. This is the other picture is Jackie Bradley Jr. of the Red Sox. The Red Sox came out and hung out with us. He was dunking the basketball on our 8-foot rims, but still. And he was the nicest guy, by the way. But offer to have people come in, like call them up or email them and say, hey, I teach 100 plus kids at a time. Would you be willing to come out and maybe help us run some stations, play some games with us, talk to the kids, take chances, reach out to the community, take chances on writing grants. We've gotten a lot in grants. We've got over 25,000 we've raised, but I've gotten rejected. I even got rejected this past September. I wrote a grant. Not everything works, but take chances. Keep throwing things out there to your administration. My former principal thought I was a big troublemaker, not in a bad way, but I just keep going to her with ideas. I asked for a rock climbing wall and she said no. I asked for archery. She said no. I asked for other things like these guests come out. She said yes. We've had local colleges come out. We've had local sports teams come out. We've had just a bunch of teams come out. So if it benefits your students, go for it. So here's my secret weapon. And I got this by taking chances, by being a little bit of a troublemaker. Originally wrote a grant for Dance Dance Revolution and other things, and we got it. It was like a $10,000 grant, and pedometers, heart rate monitors, things like that. And I didn't know where to put it though, the Dance Dance Revolution. And this is 5 years ago, so it's not as popular anymore. But I asked to use there was a trailer not being used, a portable trailer. So we put it in there, put all the dance mats in there, clear everything out. We would bring a class in there at a time, one coach, one class, and we run through it, and it was great. And there was a projector in there, there was a whiteboard. The kids were rating themselves or self-assessing themselves on how to use or how they're doing with the Dance Dance Revolution. And then it was great. And then the next year we lost the trailer. They told me to get my stuff out of there. They were using it for the college kids that come in to meet there, the student teachers. And then after that, it became the STEM trailer, which I'm glad we have STEM, but I'm not glad they took my trailer. So after that, I kept bugging my administrator. I bugged the tech guy, and I got a learning lab put in. I got a bunch of computers put in my office. I got a projector outside. I'm like, well, hey, if I don't have a projector inside, I need one outside. So this is my secret weapon. I use this all the time. And this is just what I'm talking about taking chances. Be that little bit of troublemaker, not too much trouble, but take the chances. Keep asking, and you never know what you're going to get. All right, assessment. So these are the types of assessment that I use and that are available to use, I guess. Formative, that's what I use the most. Group, I'll do a little group assess where I'll have them raise their thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle. I'll have them rank themselves 1 through 4 on how they're doing. Just kind of self-assessing or group assess. Summative, I don't use a lot, but if you have the means, by all, do it. That's more like the tests at the end of a unit, which so many kids, I don't want to take multiple class sessions doing this, but and if you have to, then do it. But if you don't have to, not my favorite one. Authentic is really cool. Now we only do this a little bit because it takes a lot of planning and time, but when we do our sport ed shoot ball unit with 5th grade, we do authentic assessment where the kids will make either videos or posters, things like that. That's real life stuff. Self-assess, like I said, they will self-assess themselves. They'll rank themselves. They'll grade themselves. If they got it, again, the thumbs up. They'll put themselves in the right place. If hey, the 1s come on over here. If you're a 2, come on over here, and work on the jump roping skills or hula hooping skills or whatever we're doing. Peer or group assess just to see where they're at and what their understanding is, and then ask yourselves, why is assessment important? See, to me, I want to know where they're at. I want to know. Now, I don't give them a grade based on that because I give S, N's, and U's. So I don't have to assess, but I think it's pretty important to know where your students are at, what they know, and where they need to be. And here's some of the ways we assess. There's the Plickers magnets or Plagnets. Sometimes, not a lot, but we've done the talk and chalk, where they will talk and then they'll write it out on the cement in chalk. Takes up a lot of chalk though. There's thinking maps we definitely use, and that's a school-wide thing. We use thinking maps. And video delay, so they can watch themselves on the delay and see how they did. All right, so here are some ways of assessing with using video. Now, the first one that's going to go is the baseball. It's my son swinging a baseball bat. So you could see there's a certain spot that we had a hard time right about there. So right about there, he's dropping his bat, and he's having a hard time with that. So we could show him that using this video analysis. Now, with cup stacking, we could show kids how to cup stack using this. And I showed this, his name's Michael, this is a few years ago. The best part to me was when he caught the one that was floating away, and he didn't break stride. It's right about here. Let's see. That one right here. So he catches this without breaking stride, grabs it, and makes it a part of the final push there for the 110-1. That was awesome. So here's some games and activities I use, especially the first week of school, because we want to build that culture. So the getting to know you games, like group juggle, where the kids will juggle a ball, not really, but they'll pass a ball and say their favorite food, favorite animal, favorite whatever, and they'll say their name. So it's definitely getting to know their names. And then you add another ball or another object, and they just keep passing it around. A cooperation game where they have to work together. I came up with a game called Avengers, where they're just working together to get all the Infinity Stones, which are tennis balls, by using the hula hoops and scooters and poly spots, and just working as a team. And it's a great game. I'm going to start off the year with that. A learning procedure game. Man Overboard's a great game for this. And we also have another game called Pepsi Coke, where they'll learn the boundaries and these lines, because a lot of the students, especially kindergarten, first grade, especially kindergarten, they don't quite get the cone thing. They don't understand why there's cones there and how to, understand that we almost like connect the dots with the cones, and these are boundaries. And speaking of kindergarten, keep them basic. On the first couple weeks of school, especially the first week, maybe even 2, I don't really let them go to different dots. They're on the dot, but also there's 120, 130 of them. They don't leave their dots. They'll do different things on their dots, like jump over, around, side to side, behind. We'll do different adventures. We'll talk about going on a safari, and we'll see different animals, and they'll do different movements based on that. So we'll keep things basic, but we want them to get the basic things, and especially day 1, we want them moving. Don't have the kids sit long. My kids and your kids, if they're in first grade through 5th or higher, they know the rules. Unless they're brand new, they know the rules. Keep it simple. Don't make them sit the whole time. Teach while they're moving. Okay, you can teach boundaries while they're moving. You could say, go to the baseline, and everybody goes to the baseline, and then tell them a rule. Go to the sideline, go to half court. Just things like that. Keep them moving. Keep rules simple. Okay, and I'm guilty of this my first year or 2 teaching, because the previous teacher had a bunch of rules posted. I just kind of went with that and said, okay, these are the rules. Now I just use 3 rules, and I learned it from somebody in my district. It was cool. It was respect yourself, respect others, and respect property. And that really covers everything. Okay, be yourself. Take it from me. Just like I said, be your authentic self. Okay, be you, do you. You be you. And have fun. That's the biggest one. Have fun. This is what it's about. All right, so the intangibles. There's the tree again. Passion and customer service. Treat your kids like customers, and I mean that in a positive way. Treat the parents like customers. Say hi, give them high fives. Treat them like they're coming into your program for the first time every day, and show that passion. Even if you're not feeling good, even if you're tired, show that passion, that you care, that you want to be there, that you want them there. Okay, Okay, be a real person. It's okay if you fail. The acronym FIRST attempts or frequent attempts at learning, in learning. Be goofy. Get to know their names. It's the hardest thing for me with so many kids, but I try really hard to get to know their names. It makes a big, huge difference. Bring in guests. Like I said, there's the Fort Myers Miracle with the tree, and many other guests come in every year. Okay, writing grants. Again, you don't have to, but there's other ways to do it. Having spirit nights, community nights, things like that. Raise money. Don't just say you don't have any money. Raise the money. You can do it. And be proud to be an educator. Be proud. You're not just a gym teacher. Okay, you're an educator. You're helping the kids learn. You're helping them grow. You're helping them learn how to handle different situations. It's the most important job there is. So number 5 is see your work as art. This changed everything for me when I started viewing what I did as a craft as art. Now, I'm not an artist. I'm the worst artist in the world, I would really think, but I appreciate it. And these are actually 2 paintings that were stolen in 1990. I'm a kind of an art thief, geek, I don't know why, but this is The Storm on the Sea of Galilee by Rembrandt and The Concert by Vermeer, and they're gone. These are one of a kind. You're never going to see them again, probably. Hopefully, but my goal is to create a masterpiece, create works of art with my games, with my kids, things that live on forever, hopefully, and things that they won't forget. And here is what I consider my first masterpiece. Was the first time we did our Chook Ball tournament, our Sport Ed tournament. This is a picture of the Cokie Cup. There's actually a medal. I don't know why I put cup, but it just sounded good because the Cokie, that's our a frog. It's our mascot. But it was our first time doing this, 2014. The kids made this banner. In the picture on the top, the kids are the referees. They're the captains. They did pretty much all the work. They were the DJs. They were the announcers. To me, that was my masterpiece. And see your work as something that matters. See your work as something that will last. I still have kids, even in my recent podcast, talk about the Chook Ball tournament or the Sport Ed unit years after they're done. They remember this. They love it. They miss it. To me, that's what's important, is creating things and experiences for these kids, including bringing in guests that will last forever. Okay, my last thing is connect with people. Here's ways to connect, and here's ways I've gotten better as a teacher. Twitter, Voxer, Facebook groups. You could always join our large group PE Nation group. Instagram, YouTube. Follow me, I'll follow you back. Share lots of good stuff. Don't be an island. That's the main thing. Don't be an island. I see too many people, even at the meetings I go to, they're like, oh yeah, I know I need to get on social media, but I don't. And it's you don't have to be on social media to be a good teacher, but it definitely helps connecting with others. So what's next? This is the tale of 2 PE teachers. 1, you could take the blue pill. That's it. Maybe do a little bit more. That's fine. But if you want to take the red pill's the way to go. I had to YouTube it because I couldn't remember which one was the good one. The down the rabbit hole is the red pill. So these are the next steps. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, watch my YouTube channel or any YouTube channel with good, solid PE games. Coach Carney 99. Listen to the Supersized Phys Ed podcast. Again, that's my favorite thing to do. So please listen. And if you want to be a guest, let me know. Keep learning and improving using social media. So get on the Facebook groups, get on Twitter, engage in the chat groups. Now, I am going to offer a 4-week masterclass. So anybody that's interested, this is not for everybody, but anybody that wants to go even further down the rabbit hole, sign up for this masterclass. Here's what it entails. So it's 4 weeks of live coaching with questions and answers. You can come on live if you want. We'll talk. We'll go through all this stuff. It's every Thursday in August. Week 1 is the basics. It's all the things we talked about, but going much, much deeper. Space, equipment, grant writing, how to make money for your program. All these things is week 1. Procedures, routines, and planning. Week 2, we're going to the music montages, things like that. technology and assessment. I'll show you all the ways we use it in our program. Games, activities, and intangibles. So that's week 4. We'll do even more cooperative learning games, more activities, just going through step by step how to implement these in your program. I'm giving you the shortcuts of things that have taken me years to figure out and lots of money. So here's the bonuses if you sign up. One-on-one coaching call with me if you registered by midnight on Sunday. And I'm putting values at the end of this because these are the values that I paid for these myself. This has taken years. So $50 to $100. A Facebook group with live question and answers once a month. That's $100 total. My grant writing file. So I'm going to give you the copy. I'm going to show you the copies of everything I wrote for these grants. Now, you might not be able to get the exact grants, but you could use the templates. You could use all this stuff to write your own grants. And this value, it's hard to even value it because you could make thousands and thousands of dollars for your program with this. And my extra task cards and PDFs, it's more than $100. Just these task cards and PDFs on Teachers Pay Teachers. And my Design Squad packet, $10. So all this stuff, I would not dream of charging this much, but the cost for this program is $97 or $77 by Sunday, because I'm going to give you a coupon code for $20 off. If you use it by Sunday night, August 4th, you can get all this for $77. All this stuff. I mean, the test cards alone are worth more than that. So you get the masterclass, the one-on-one coaching call, Facebook group with live coaching, Q&A, the grant writing files. That's I don't even know how to put a price on that. The task cards, the PDFs, the Design Squad packet, all this stuff. And if it's not for you, that's okay. And I will give your money back after week 1. If it's not for you, I understand, and you can keep all the other stuff. But I really think it's something that if you want to just go the extra mile, you want to go down the rabbit hole, you want to learn more, you want to hear the shortcuts, you want to see the shortcuts, I will give you everything that you need for your program and coach you along the whole time. Now, you could also, if you think you got all that down, but you want to try something different, you could learn from my masterpiece, the large group Chukball Sport Ed Unit. That's only $39 if you use the same code, Dave2019, by Sunday. And I will send all these links out. And if that's you, please join. If it's not for you, I totally get it, but please reach out, keep connecting, keep doing, what you need to do for your students. And here's my contact information: supersizephysed.com, Twitter's @PEDave1017, and the programs, the sport, the design, the large group program, and then the Sport Ed Unit, and there's a coupon code. So definitely check these out. If it's not for you, I totally get it. But if it is, sign up, get it now before it's gone. And I thank you so much for being here today. And if you have any questions, please contact me at supersizephysed.com, like I said, or if you want to be a guest on the show, on my podcast, love to have you. You guys and girls are awesome. Take care.